Welcome to Mock the Week, an election special. I'm Dara. Joining me this week are Tez Ilyas, James Acaster and Ed Gamble, Milton Jones, Hugh Dennis and Angela Barnes. Welcome, as I said, to our special here on the night of the election, although we record this on a Tuesday, because that's when we always record the show. We weren't expecting an election, because nobody was expecting an election. So if you're looking for results, you've come to the wrong place, baby. This is literally the least informed show on the television right now. Well done on your choices. I'm loving your style. OK. We start with a round call. If this is the answer, what is the question? On the board are 6 categories. Tez, which category would you like?
Can I please have home news?
That seems suitable. The category is home news. The answer is 50 days. What is the question?
Is it how long until the next general election?
It can only be a matter of time.
Is it taking into account the 49 days that they took off? How long did it take UKIP to write their manifesto?
Is it when the shoe was on the other foot? How long did it take Wally to find me?
Is it how long does one day feel for Melania Trump?
Is it in a Nando's kitchen, how long is the 5-second rule?
Is it how long did I spend in the tiny Welsh village of Llanfils when it turned out to be landfill?
Is it how old was I when I started to use the phrase "my money, my problems"?
Is it how long I had to stay in my car when someone changed the sat-nav for a loop of Bonnie Tyler singing Turn Around?
Is it how long until Paul Nuttall hatches?
Is it how long has this workplace gone without an accident?
Is it how many days should I book off work if I was flying with BA?
Is it how long does Theresa May wish she could travel back in time?
That is so close to the correct answer. I'd like you just to tell me the correct answer.
It is how long has the election campaign been running?
That's absolutely right. Thank you very much, Hugh. Yes, of course. This is the news, such as it is, that after 50 days of hard campaigning, the polls have now closed and the country has voted in yet another election.
I'm so bored of voting.
It is.
I know democracy is supposed to be an amazing gift, but I'm so bored of democracy. I'm going to have to move to Iran for a little bit, just to sort of...
Are you on first-name terms with the people in the polling booth? Yes.
Yeah, absolutely.
Hey, how you doing? There we go again. My usual boot. OK. Did you keep my pencil from the last time? I certainly did.
I feel like an absolute loser because I made 2 very bad choices in the 90s. I decided to become a lefty liberal and a Blackburn Rovers fan. And neither of those things are working out for me in the long run. Like last year, I voted to remain in the European Caliphate. And...
I'll tell you what, over this 50 days, I am really regretting starting that strong and stable drinking game. I've been hammered before Jeremy Kyle every morning for the last 50 days.
Man, if you got Coalition of Chaos as well.
Oh.
Gee.
The only thing that saved me from that is Ramadan. Otherwise, whew.
It was an unusual election, not least because, I mean, to have called it was opportunistic. And because even then, she'd got the gig. She got the gig as leader of the Conservatives because they had a shootout, essentially, like something out of a Tarantino movie after Brexit, where they're all standing and just in slow motion, just and like Gove shot Johnson, and then Johnson shot Cameron, and then Cameron shot Leadsom, and just like and all in slow motion, bullets flying everywhere, and then everyone is dead, and then she gets up like the only minor character standing there and sees like the bag with the drugs and the money and goes, hello, and walks out with the leadership of the Tory party, and it turns out that then she decides to go into another gunfight again, and she can't do it.
For the rest of the world, this election is completely irrelevant. And this election will just be remembered as the election the Russians couldn't even be bothered to have.
It It was a very dull campaign until, excitingly, Theresa May developed a bug, like the robot in Westworld, and could only repeat the same words over and over again. I mean, the robots in Westworld had a kind of a threatening element to them, rather than just going, well, I've been very clear about what the question you've just said, and I'm just going to repeat the words back to you.
Apparently, she didn't turn up to the ladies' debate because she went to that cheese thing, which was apparently some awards.
It was,
and to be fair, when you look at the pictures, it does look like a fondue.
Do you know, I genuinely think that's great.
Milton's impressed.
Look at that. Professional regard right down there going.
Thank you.
And Milton's furious. Oh, what is fondue? Why did I not see that? Why did I not see that coming? That was so obvious.
Cheesed off. The thing is, though, I
You're
think...
grating on me now.
All right, enough. Enough with the puns.
Baby Bell.
Denture's asked, what is the naughtiest thing you've ever done?
Running through a field of
She said,
wheat.
I ran through a field of wheat once.
It's not naughty if you own the field.
No. Was she naked?
Oh, I don't think so.
She was
no,
No one made those inquiries.
Just checking. And how old was she?
she was quite young, so therefore that question is really icky and strange. I think it was her child during her
I'm more horrified that she might have done it in the last 6 months or so.
Yeah, I don't think it's like, what's the last thing you've done in the last week? And she's like, I'm just going to step off the battle bus for a minute. Swirl her way to a screw you, Farmer Joe. This wheat is dead to you now.
It's actually what she was doing during the leaders' debate.
You know what? It would be even better if she hadn't turned up the leaders' debate because she's just lying making wheat angels.
I can't wait.
For what?
What, for the thing that's happening on another channel right now that's actually already happened?
Were you surprised by the result, James?
Do you know what? I was shocked.
I think that's a good thing.
We all wrote UKIP off, and yet here we are, slaves forever.
A UKIP Green coalition, all 600
Yes.
seats, either went UKIP or Green, and you're going to go, how can they work together? But they've pledged to.
But it's great, they're planting new trees that when they grow up, it just says fuck off home.
If they had to get a new leader, they'd have to lose the Nuttall. Like, now, Nuttall is full value, by the way, in many ways. Not least that, in the middle of the video, which is shot, I think, on this coastline here, Nuttall, for some reason, accidentally walks on the wrong way onto a travelator, going the other direction, and just brazens it out. Just worth watching here. This is from the UKIP party election broadcast.
Across Britain, UKIP's army of volunteers hope to save real issues hundreds of high. For this election, just
Delivery moonwalked his way. I'm walking, but I'm not moving. I'm not going anywhere. And a minute later, he's got, I'm going down the stairs.
You know, but all the other parties on the other side, they're all panicking as we speak, aren't they? So the Tories are wondering if they've blown it, and the Labour Party are wondering whether Jeremy Corbyn really can negotiate. And the Liberal Democrats are worried, because if they get just 2 more seats, they're going to have to buy a bigger minibus.
It's a shame Amber Rudd didn't stand for the Green Party, because then someone would have had to say Amber Rudd, Green, and that's all the colours of a traffic light.
Yes, it was an unusual election to call, particularly because then you ran against Corbyn, who we've taken the mickey out of Corbyn on this show because of his Brexit campaign, little knowing that it was a clever tactic on his part to run the worst Brexit campaign ever and then go, boom, I got skills, when the general election campaign came in.
Don't you think he did really well on the nuclear question, though? He's going. Am I going to press the red button? Am I going to press the red button? If anyone asks me that again, I am going to go ballistic.
The thing I found most surprising is when Corbyn was getting the numbers wrong, the interviewer said, oh, I can see you're opening your iPad up there. Jeremy Corbyn's got an iPad. That is the biggest... I thought he just wrote everything down on beer mats.
Also, I've got a bad feeling about those intuition fees.
Why did the Liberal Democrat leader Tim Farron come under pressure during the campaign?
Well, this is his views allegedly on homosexuality and
Yes.
thinking that homosexuality is a sin, and he's a practising Christian, right? Which I think means... I don't think he needs to be a practising Christian, because if they're his views on homosexuality, I think he's got Christianity nailed. I think what he needs to practice is being a liberal.
The point is, as his voting record is very, very liberal, and he's never let his views get in. He wouldn't not say that it was a sin without checking with the Pope first. And it was the first big interview, and that was it.
What I found weird was why did no one ask Theresa May that question, given that she's a vicar's daughter? At no point did someone bring that up with her, because that would have been interesting.
I can't catch her in the wheat fields. We want to know anything about the gays.
I've been very clear. I've been very clear. Gays, please, please. No, gays.
I think Tim Farron's got an option here. I think he's got something he could do. Because you remember when Boris Johnson was making all the... He wanted to buy water cannons, and he offered to stand in front of a water cannon to prove that it's OK.
I don't even want you to finish. I can see... I can just have a really visual image of what you're about to say, and frankly, that's not going out on the air. That as far as standing in front of a water cannon, Angela Barnes, and I think we all can finish off that particular idea, right? Don't draw a picture of it.
I think the thing is, Theresa May's like a headmistress, Jeremy Corbyn's like a geography teacher, but Tim Farron, the leader of the Lib Dems, is like if someone said, do you have a bloke called Tim Farron who goes to your school? And you'd say, no, I don't think so.
I started to take to him quite a lot during that leaders' debate. For example, brilliant impression of Angela Eagle he's doing now. I started to warm to him, and at the end he had this amazing mic drop moment where he said, Theresa May's boring. I'd just turn over the channel now to BBC Two and watch Bake Off, and everyone laughed. And then I turned over and it was Bake Off creme de la creme, and I thought, another Lib Dem failed promise.
Also, I like the fact he says he's a practising Christian, and in that photo he's literally practising to be Jesus.
OK, at the end of that round, for the egg drink and tears. Now we play a round called Shaking the Magic Funny Tree. This game involves Tez and Milton, so if you could make your way to the performance area, please. This round is a stand-up challenge. I launch the wheel of news, and whoever chooses to stop one of our performers must step forward and talk about that subject. OK, here we go. Let's spin the wheel. The first subject is drinking. Who wants to come in on that? Tez.
Hi, give me a chief, you like a drink? Cool, I don't drink, because I'm not an infidel. But the reason I bring it up is because last summer I got invited to a stag do, and that stag do was in Benidorm. Thing is, the whole time I was in Benidorm, because I genuinely don't drink, I was a bit like, you know that guy who goes to Alton Towers, but he just holds the bags and the coats when everyone else goes on the rides? That's what it felt like for me in Benidorm. But genuinely, I've never touched a single drop of alcohol in my life. And, well, tell a lie. There might have been this one time in Benidorm. So I'm out with the lads. It's a stag do. I'm stagging it, textbook, just having a great time. And I came back to our table, and there's glasses on there filled with clear liquid. I picked up quite innocently what I thought was my lemonade. Took a sip of it, spat it back out, turned out to be vodka and lemonade. And I'd never drunk before, so the vodka, it really burnt my mouth. And I felt awful because I'd just broken one of the major rules in my religion for the very first time. Hashtag a big deal. At that moment, I just took a step back and honestly, genuinely, hand on heart, just really, really wished that I hadn't smoked so much weed before I left the hotel. Mum, if you're watching this, weed is street slang for Basil.
Thank you very much, Craig. OK, that leaves us with Milton. Let's see what your topic is. Let's spin the wheel. And the topic is communication. Where you go?
Recently, I've joined up the group Eavesdroppers Anonymous. Not that they know. I wouldn't like to burgle my house. Oh, no. Well, it would be pointless, wouldn't it? Stealing things I already own. Missiles! Missiles! They don't even sound accurate. If your name is Andre, don't end your texts with a kiss. As early as 1724, Sir Tim Montague had the idea for the post-it note, but he'd nothing to write it down on. So if you're at a party and you spill some red wine on a white carpet, best thing to do is to get some ordinary table salt, throw it in the face of the host, and make a run for it. Annoying, isn't it? When you go shopping, you buy something, you get it home, and then you see the sticker, buy one and get one free. And you think, I could have got another shoe.
Once again, and go to Tez. Well done. Everyone comes back. Our next round is called Picture of the Week. I show the panel a topical image and ask them to tell me what is happening. So, what is going on here?
Dear Santa, for Christmas I would like a shorter tie.
C-O-V-F-E-F-E.
He's sitting in the wrong chair anyway. That chair is reserved for the seal of the President of the United States.
It is one of the great shows of power. If you, for a visiting dignitary, if they go, oh, you're not impressed with my military might. Have you met my seal? The seal comes out and goes, ow, 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 ow. Even Putin went, must get seal.
I think he's been set lines. He's just having to write, I must not use my phone unsupervised.
I think the woman there is thinking, oh, no, if someone chucks a grenade now, my last words are going to be Donald Duck.
Is he drawing round his hands to prove the haters wrong?
Yeah. I just counted. He's got 4 different haircuts on one head.
Oh, is he doing it in each different part? Yeah, he swept back, parted, lifted over and crossed to the side. It is quite a complex piece of work.
He's quite diverse, isn't he? Which is ironic.
That does look a little bit like a vagina on the side of his head.
I wouldn't know.
So what is the major news story of the week,
He
Hugh?
withdrew from the Paris Climate Accord.
Indeed he did. Thank you very much, Hugh. Thank you very much, Hugh.
Trump's very green, man. He is the greenest. Out of all the leaders in the whole world, he has done the most to combat global warming. Because, let me tell you, that travel ban, that reduces so many people's carbon footprints, it's unreal. He's a clever guy. If all of us started banning people from our countries, less people would fly and we wouldn't have a problem on our hands.
So he's pulled out of the Paris Agreement, he pulled out of the Trans-Pacific Partnership, and I don't think I'm the only one who wishes that his dad had just pulled out of his mum.
Yes.
He said he was going to do this, didn't he?
He did.
Before he was
It was
elected,
a
he said,
campaign
I'm going to
promise.
pull out of the Paris Accord. So how come the only time there's a politician who does what they're going to say is an absolute nutter?
It is a cruel irony that we have to face that, all right, Jet, that he's probably the most honest politician there is.
Everyone in the States has got really angry about it, and in Boston, they lit up their government building with green lights, because that's how you protest climate change, isn't it? Extra lights.
We will protect the environment. Flick a few more switches there.
To protest Donald Trump's decision, we will be starting this tyre fire.
But there is a thing, like, we see him here. What's going on here, for example?
Oh, is this the worst nativity play in the world?
Is this a sequel to Snakes on a Plane, Shakes on a Buggy?
Is that Donald Trump massively regretting using Uber Pool for the first time?
think it's a nightmare, though, for parents, Donald Trump. Because all over the world, parents are going, look, if you don't study and you don't listen and you think you know everything, actually, you'll be fine.
The nice thing about travelling in a place where they write Arabic is that all spaghetti is alphabeti spaghetti.
Didn't he remind you of like, the horrible kid at school that everyone hated, but his parents had a swimming pool?
It was a nice swimming pool. My mum and dad worked hard.
Moving on, what new mission has NASA unveiled?
It's a mission to the sun.
Yes, it is. They're sending a thing to the sun.
Why are they doing that? They're going to see how hot it is.
Yeah.
I think it's because
Apparently, it's actually very hot. But NASA can't quite work out how many verys to put before hot. It's either very, very hot or very, very, very hot. And there's every chance the closer we get, the more hot it gets. Which
OK,
is,
that's amazing. And what's the equipment? They're taking a thermometer and some...
No, they're taking... you lick a finger.
why people would literally do anything for a good tan.
Apparently, it's so hot, it's 2/3 as hot as a Samsung Galaxy.
They're not actually going all the way to the sun, are they? They're going, like, 4 million miles away from the sun. So it's like travelling Ryanair going to London Stansted.
Yes.
How far away is the sun?
It's 93 million miles away.
93 million miles away?
Yeah.
I tell you what, it's still hot from here.
Yeah, but they're
I got sunburnt in Kettering.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. I see the technical difficulty you're raising there. And...
They shouldn't be sending stuff near it if it's that hot. I didn't know that. Abort this mission.
Maybe it's a rescue mission to rescue that babies from the Teletubbies.
They could make a really good episode of A Place in the Sun. Bob and Marjorie would like to spend the winter in the sun.
Why are they actually going there?
To examine the surface of the sun, look at, you know...
We already know
things.
what the sun's made of. It's right-wing propaganda and tits.
I'd like to volunteer to be an astronaut in that case, Dara. One thing I love, it's right-wing titties.
OK, at the end of that round, points to Andrew, Hugh and Milton. Now we come to scenes we'd like to see, so if everyone can make their way over to the performance area. I'll read out this week's topics, then we'll see what our panellists can come up with. OK, here we go. The first subject is things you didn't hear during the election.
The truth!
And representing the Conservatives, Theresa May.
I promise to deliver a hard Brexit, unless you're not in, and then I'll leave it with your neighbour, which is Europe. I haven't thought that through.
The Scottish people have spoken. Did anyone understand what they were saying?
Here at the BBC, we need balance. Jeremy Corbyn shit.
So the polls have closed. Untie Boris.
Please welcome this month's Gay Times cover star, Tim Farron.
I am the returning officer, and it's great to be back.
I do not make U-turns. But more importantly, I do make U-turns.
Hello and welcome to the Take Me Out All Night election special. Let the ballot see the box.
Would you press the red button? Mr. Corbyn, would you press the red button? We've been stuck in this lift for 20 minutes.
Taxes will be so low if you vote for me, Jimmy Carr.
This is my pledge. Get your own furniture polish.
I've got a great plan to save the NHS. First, we leave the EU. Then, we use the extra 350... Huh? Can I interest anyone in a free bus?
Hello and welcome to Newsnight. Theresa May, Jeremy Corbyn, Tim Farron. Shag, marry, kill.
I am the returning officer.
Yes, OK, Jeremy Corbyn may have Stormzy, but I have Gary Barlow. Take that!
I'm going to create so much new housing, a series of one-room flats with an amazing view of London. Also, unrelated, I'm closing the London Eye.
One person in this election has consistently brought up green things. Me, Caroline Mucus.
So it looks like the Tory majority is going to be exactly the same as it was. What a fucking waste of time that was.
OK, next topic is unlikely lines from a cosmetics commercial.
Are you an older woman struggling with her facial hair? Try Gillette, the best a nan can get.
Would you like lashes with more volume? Lashes!
You don't need lip liner or eyeliner with our new bin liner.
What goes into our true naked, infallible moisture, crushing nature, colour palette body moisturiser? A selection of random words that mean fuck all.
What's my secret for smooth skin? I'm 20.
Is your hair out of control? Do you wear wacky shirts? Well, hey, you're great just how you are.
You want fuller, rounder lips? I recommend a nut allergy.
Are you tired of missing out on the opportunities that your peers get? Try White Privilege Foundation.
Here comes the science. Global warming is real! None of this matters!
We in the German city of Cologne have a fragrance called Birmingham.
This apricot scrub removes the surface layers to leave you with the smoothest, most rejuvenated apricot you have ever seen.
And for one last time, it's me, the returning officer.
This product makes your eyelashes look really big by shrinking your eyeballs.
Want that football hooligan a broad look? Why not try oil of ole, 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 ole?
Sorry, has anyone seen The Returning Officer?
Any messages?
Our new powder gives you the confidence to hit the town. Cocaine!
Okay, at the end of that round, the points go to Milton, Hugh and Angela. And that's the end of the show. This week's winners are Ted, Ilyas, James Acaster and Ed Gamble. Commiserations to Milton Jones, Hugh Dennis and Angela Barnes. Thanks for watching. I'm Dara Briain. Good night.
Dara is back mocking the week next Thursday at the same time. Next tonight, Frankie Boyle is on hand to make sense of our befuddling world with his new world order.